Welcome to WYCD Wicked, that stands for What You Can Do. My name's Jake, and let's say hi to the Wicked community. First up, Wicked Foxy Dragon, good to see you. Selena Mary, hello. And to the other viewers who haven't said hi yet, hi. We are going to attempt to take some calls today from MAGA voters. Here's the deal, and I will restate this when we can draw some in. But it dawned on me recently that either there's one issue that either they are correct about or I am correct about. But we both can't be right. If they are right, what I need to be doing is advocating for Joe Biden to be tossed into a jail cell. If I'm correct, what they need to be doing is advocating for Donald Trump to be tossed into a jail cell. It's the 2020 election. Was it stolen? Was there reason to suspect it was stolen? I mean, if the answer to that is yes, we got to get to the bottom of it. I'm missing key information here. MAGA voters, help me understand. Explain it to me. But here's the thing. If it turns out that you're the one that's missing key information or has been misinformed by somebody, well, you got to know it. And you got to accept that reality. You got to put on your big boy pants and do big boy things. Like advocate for somebody on your team to be kicked off it and, in fact, imprisoned. But look, stand by. This is going to bug me. Oh, I am graying on top. And I can never tell if it's down feather, dandruff, or just a gray hair. More often, I'm finding out it's just a gray hair or dandruff. Anyway, I would like you to try your best to convince me that you're correct. Show me the information that you have that I don't. I'll do the same for you. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. One thing we can't do is go on living in a selected reality. We can't just choose your own adventure with whether or not there was a coup attempt. Talking me down before before I get too fired up, longtime friend of the show, Wicked Foxy Dragon. Foxy, how are you? Can't hear you. That's okay. Still no. But mess around with it some. We'll get there. Well, I'll take this brief opportunity to have one of the only times that I'll win in a argument with Foxy. I got to think of something we might disagree on quick before she has an opportunity to respond. Oh, the anti-corporatist. Hey, good to see you. Selena Mary, I haven't gotten a gray yet. Just turned 40. Oh, look at me with my good genes and my reasonable responses to stress. Oh, I'm not sprinting towards the grave. I'm Selena Mary. Oh, I have mature responses to things. You understand where this is. All right. Anti-corporatist. If you want the MAGA people, stream vertical. Interesting. He's referring to when you stream on a phone and you use 9:16 as opposed to 16:9. You know, because the MAGA folks are apparently cunt. I don't remember where that joke is originally from, but I do have to say it's not mine. The one of the funniest things I ever heard. Haven't been able to look it up because every time I type this into Google, understandably, it pulls up unrelated things. But somebody in some internet sketch somewhere went, "Don't be a cunt," and it was very funny. Bomber Fox, I've already got gray hair and I'm not 40 yet. Yeah. Look, I shouldn't be judging those hairs that have remained on my skull, frankly. Anybody who's stuck with me up here, anyone who's still holding the line, they're a hero. They're sticking with the cause when so many others have abandoned it, have fallen. The front lines of the battle to cover my dome have been in constant retreat. My hairline is the Imperium in 40K, doomed inevitably, and it's just a story of how long it can hang on. All right, well, we wait potentially for Foxy to call in. I want to share some internet. It's going to be strange at first. But this is the internet thing I want to do. Oh, quick recommendation. Sovereign citizen stuff will be discussed later. In the meantime, I'm going to talk to Foxy. Hey, I hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yay!
Can you pull your volume down slightly? Is that possible?
Yes.
Oh, never mind. My volume is up. A lot of things make sense. You're fine. Turns out.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm getting feedback here.
Oh, yes. Okay. So make sure that the audio is coming through your headphones and not through your computer speakers.
Yes.
Okay, then. I'll try to shout less. So if I heard correctly, you have some insight to share with us.
Right. Well, the thing is, what are you doing?
I'm powdering my face so that when I say I'm doing this later, it's believable.
Okay. So my friend Kim, she just got out of jail
Oh,
because I have some good friends. And
there's a
she
few in
told
every
me
group.
that the only thing that they actually watch in prison is Fox News.
What the?
So
Well, that's got to change.
that's the only news outlet that they've got. And obviously, they don't have the ability to do any research or have phones to get the news alerts or whatnot. So they're pretty much being brainwashed.
Yeah, when my buddy was in the clink, they had a Power Rangers marathon that was playing like all week, and he said it was one of the best things ever because he could just stick his mush up against the bars. I guess they played it while he was locked up, like literally locked in the cell as well, and just watch it. That sounded like a mercy. Fox News, that should be cruel and unusual punishment. That yeah. On that, so I'm assuming it's a private prison first and foremost. Do you happen to know which prison or
Well,
which jail it was?
It was the female of the women's prison. I think it's in Indian Springs, possibly. I'm not sure exactly where it was at. I'm not that hands-on.
Oh yeah, no, that I couldn't tell you, gun to my head, the name of the jail my buddy was in. Well, actually, I take that back. Washtenaw County Jail, but that's cheating. It's just I lived there. Yeah, I'm looking through them. I'm not sure. I can't see if which one is private, but that's worthy of note, and that's. Thank you for bringing that to attention, the attention of the public here, because
Right.
that
So
it's the same as with military bases that you shouldn't be playing traitor propaganda in these
right.
places.
So I also have another friend who
Mhm.
recently got out of prison, and he also he's not a voter. He's not really into politics or anything, but he did appreciate Trump because on one of the certificates that he earned while doing some kind of educational programming, there President Trump signed the certificate.
Oh,
So
God.
I suppose that it's a little bit naive on his part, which a grown person would think that the president actually was signing it for him. But yeah, so he thinks that President Trump designed these programs, these educational programs for the
Yeah.
prisons.
No, but I don't think your friend is to blame for that at all. You said specifically he doesn't really follow politics. Well, if you don't
Right.
follow politics and you suddenly get something signed by the president, the natural assumption to make is that the president signs everything they have something to do with, and you haven't seen one before because no president has helped you before. It's
Right.
not the reality, but it's a normal thing to assume. That was a clever move on Trump's part. I would like to see Biden and President Harris do the same. Just start signing things. All
Well,
Democrats. Just start
I
signing.
have like 10 presidential certificates from when I was in college signed by Obama. So it's not something that's not done.
Withdrawn my complaint. I thought it was just a clever Trump move. All right.
No,
Fair enough.
actually, he was just signing the certificates that were probably pre-printed. As far as it probably already had his signature on it and everything. They just filled in his name and gave it to him, I'm sure.
I mean, he needlessly signed those checks that went out to everybody during the pandemic. I still maintain Democrats should just sign everything they have something to do with.
Yeah, but then we would have something to be held accountable for. So
Better
why
than the
not?
alternative. What happens now? Republicans take credit for anything that goes well, which is always done by Democrats.
Right? And I don't think that would change if our names were on something.
I do.
Yep.
I think most of America is that simple. I think it's free advertising. I just don't see why not.
So another thing that me and Kim learned is that they believe, these Trump voters actually do honestly believe that Trump is out for them. They think that he is the one that raised minimum wage, not the states. There's a whole bunch of a laundry list of things that they believe that wasn't even done during Trump's presidency, and they attribute it to him.
Because it's vibes based with them.
Yeah.
It's the cut of somebody's jib, and then they just all good things they attribute to that person they like, and all bad things they attribute to that person that they got a bad vibe off of. Bad vibe usually meaning pretty arbitrary judges.
But still, how can most of these people are Hispanic? In fact, her husband, who is all for Trump, and his entire family, she actually got married to him so that he could be here legally, and he's all for Trump.
Could she divorce him real quick? Just give us like 4 months. Good God. I don't know. What you
mom
have
also. So I mean, it's not just that community. There are people out there that just are uninformed. And I guess if they only watch Fox News or OAN or whatever, Newsmax or News something or other, I guess if you don't have anything to compare it to, well, what else are you supposed to believe? So that's how we have to reach out to these people and get them off of the Fox streamline. But how do we do that?
Yeah, I think number one, that's it. What you just said is it. When somebody tells you I support Trump, you immediately know they're getting bad information. If they have any information, it's bad information. So thing number one, you ask where do you hear things about Trump? And then thing number two, correctly and righteously attack that media. As I'm speaking right now, my hesitation was that I realized, that's probably my job. I should probably do that. F it. That's exactly what we're going to do. All right. I'm just going to show the people what my recommendation is, but this is not what we're going to look at. Guys, if you want to know where this road leads, being a right-winger who just chooses to believe things about the world that end up not being true, this is where it leads. An internet comedian makes fun of you in a fake judge outfit with a clown nose as you talk about sovereign citizen nonsense in front of a courtroom where everybody, and I mean everybody, is embarrassed on your behalf. I'm not going to play that because now I want to look up, I don't know, some right-wing thing. Foxy, I know you had a roommate for a while there that was a Trump supporter. Can you name somebody that they watched that they mentioned getting?
You know what? He only got his stuff off of the dark web. So
The Onion router. No. All right. Name for me some generic right-wing stuff. People in the audience.
Oh gosh.
Tinkerbell, Bomber Fox, Nina Canadian, toss something out there. Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan. Who do you want to see be shown to be lying to folks? Now we got to wait.
All of the above.
All the above. All right. Random. Tucker Carlson's less in the zeitgeist. Steven. Is that how you spell Steven Crowder? I care so little about. I don't know if it's a PH or a V. I feel like it's a V. Hey, all right. 6 years ago. Oh, I should refine this. Oh, the divorce. Hilarious. I was really hoping that if I typed in random Steven Crowder, it would just give me a random clip from Louder with Crowder. Oh, here we go. God, the guy has close to 6 million subscribers. What the fuck's the matter with you, planet Earth? Oh, God. Okay. Why is, Foxy, you're going to pick this. Why is conservative Fox News covering for Kamala? Lie debunked. Trump is behind in the polls. Trump x Elon, fact-checking every dirty, lying media, yada, yada. Is Kamala stealing Trump's platform? Which one of these?
I like that first one. I want to know how Fox is covering for Kamala.
Oh, beautiful. All right. I'm just going to jump in randomly. Let's go here. Nah. Oh, my God. I want to see him mention. Here's Biden. I want to see him mention Biden because I personally have noticed. I don't know about you, but every time you remember, like where "left is best" comes from. Did you ever hear that story?
No.
So there was vandalism at a school, and it was all kinds of things written that made no sense, and they were supposedly from a lefty, and one of the phrases was "left is best," as though that's something lefties say, and it was just if you were a lefty, it was so obviously not done by a lefty that it was a big joke, and of course, it turned out it was a radical right wing person that did an act of terrorism to try to make it seem like a lefty did. But we in the internet left adopted that phrase "left is best" because we were like, you know what? I stand by that one. I suspect that right wingers know next to nothing about the people they hate, and I think they're hearing it from this prick right here. So let's watch it together. I'll nitpick. Oh, he's got the Walther PPK. I can't believe I don't remember which one is the actual name of James Bond's gun.
They gave billions, for example, just for hostage release. And they also unfroze a lot of money. Okay, Donald Trump put 1,500 sanctions on Iran, largely on oil, and $1 trillion.
Pause. So it's worth noting. We had a deal with Iran that, let me say it correctly, Iran, that Donald Trump pulled out of. So just real quick, understand that any deal he made with Iran was after he ruined the one that had already been made. And by the way, he lost the key part of that deal, which was, Iran not having nukes.
In damages to the Iranian economy, according to Iranian officials. I believe it was Biden-Harris who unfroze $6 billion as well. That was frozen again by Donald Trump. Yeah, Barack.
I don't feel like we have to object to everything. I do just want to say for the record, we'll pay $2 trillion to bail out banks. I will happily spend $6 billion. I don't even know if what he's saying is accurate, but on general principle, I'll happily spend $6 billion to freaking get prisoners back from another country. Absolutely.
Obama, here's some money. Donald Trump, we're not going to do it. Biden-Harris, we're going to unfreeze it. Okay. The Iranians are very concerned about Donald Trump being president. He's the only person who's enforced any policies with any teeth. Let's look.
The whole world is very concerned about Donald Trump being president.
At the treatment of terrorism under the Harris and Biden administration versus Donald Trump. You look at Harris and Biden, they removed Iranian proxies like the Houthis from the terror list.
How's that working right now?
Yeah, they just took them up.
Okay. The number one terrorist threat to the United States, white nationalist terrorists. Sorry, that's just a fact. Case in point, they carry out actual terror attacks. If you are on the right wing, you're probably not aware of the power plant attacks that have been happening in 2023 and I believe 2024. Those are done by people trying to start the Boogaloo. If you're on the right wing, I bet you know what that is. Yeah, they're trying to kick off a race war, and they've specifically cited Al Qaeda strategies. So, what did Trump do about this? Well, he said we're not allowed to refer to terrorists who are U.S. Citizens, white nationalists, as terrorists. He's not better against terrorists. Steven Crowder being a straight up liar, I don't necessarily trust what he's saying here, but I don't find it necessary to demonstrate that it's untrue because it's largely nonsensical so far. He's talking about who got declassified as a terrorist. I talk to me about why you disagree about their reasoning if that's what you're doing.
Off the terror list.
Yeah.
Because we would want to be
He's just
ethnocentric.
saying,
Well, they're the ones shooting.
he and his dad apparently are just saying, and this group of brown folks, he took off the terrorist list. Okay,
Yes.
why?
At our warships
Right.
now. So
Compare that to Donald Trump, who killed Soleimani and bragged about it.
Thank you very much.
The terror ban-
You know, I got to say, compared to Barack Obama, who's that guy he got? Kind of famous. There's that one terrorist that Obama definitely got.
mastermind in Iran.
He doesn't get any credit.
So one party, we'll take them off the watch list. Donald Trump's, I killed your man. You better come out and stop me.
Not a bad Trump right there.
And just in case people are forgetting, Iran is an enemy of the United States. I don't know if you know that. They're sworn
They don't have to be.
enemy of the United States. They refer to us as Satan.
the great Satan.
Don't say us, Canadian. Sorry, Nina Canadian. You can say us. He can't.
The great
There are two Satans. We're the
Israel's a
bigger
little
one.
Satan. We're the bigger Satan.
We're number one.
Geographically makes sense. Let me give you some more key facts here. I don't know
Take
if you
that,
know this
Israel.
as far as who they've been trying to negatively affect. Key fact number one,
Great
the
God.
assassination plot against Donald Trump. I don't know if you know this, but in July 2020,
What the?
the United States intelligence discovered an Iranian plot to kill Donald Trump. Asif
I now have a complaint against the Iranians. No follow through on these people.
You said it, not me.
Yep.
Merchant, 46 years old, this comes from NBC News and CNN, is accused of traveling to New York City and working with a hitman to carry out the assassinations in late August or early September, according to the charges filed by federal prosecutors.
I just realized one of his own people, a Republican voter, came closer than this whole country did.
Prosecutors in Brooklyn, New York, and the New York,
You New Yorkers.
in the Secret Service, in a very rare occurrence, actually increased their protection around Donald Trump
Oh.
at that moment in time. So we have the record of them attempting to assassinate Donald Trump. This guy has been brought in to a paddy wagon. See,
Don't love the use of the word paddy wagon, but all
and
right.
we have the funding. All right, let's look at key fact number two.
By the way, sorry, that was July 2024, not 2020.
Oh,
That-
sorry, apologies. Yes, July
no,
2024.
There was a typo there. So,
Okay,
yeah.
July 2024. I
Recent.
apologize. I thought
No,
it was.
I
I
find
thought
that
it was
very
recent, and I was
It was
thinking, was it a recirculation?
I forgot I had that one. Yeah.
And by the way, just check the references. Every day, go to louderscredit.com. Link in the description.
Oh my God.
That the Iranians actually hacked the Trump campaign.
Oh, come on.
So they actually leaked vetting files on Trump's VP candidates. Now, this is what we
Kidding.
know, right? They leaked the files on J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio.
Genuinely
And
bored
what's
by
funny
this.
is
Okay. So, I am not seeing anything juicy, I guess. Let me take this off for a while. I'm not seeing anything juicy in there so far, but I will say when watching basically anything this guy puts out, I personally can't go more than like 2 sentences without finding like something that doesn't make sense in the context of recent U.S. history, a logical contradiction, something that's irrelevant. I don't even understand the point he's making here. He keeps saying like, look at how much Iran hates this guy, as though
That's a good
that
thing.
makes him good against terrorists.
I'm not sure they'd even know.
No. But I do think we could, and when I don't have a guest, I'll go do another segment like this with another Crowder or whatever. But I do think that there is value to be had in sitting down with these people who are misinformed and pointing at the screen and saying, well, that was a lie. Well, that was a lie. No, we've got Google here. Look, that was a lie. But what I personally think, and this is an experiment that we're doing now, we'll find out if it works together. What I personally think is you need to insist that once you find out somebody lies, you stop going to them for news. If not, then we're just going to be repeating the same cycle endlessly. That's, as far as I can tell, the game plan.
And that's pretty much what Kim and I have discussed. She wants me to talk to her mom. I don't want to talk to mom.
Yeah.
I don't want to, get on her bad side.
You're right. And it's sweet of her to say, wait, does she want her to, she wants you to talk to her mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sweet of her. That's a good buddy system use, I think. Because you got to maintain your relationship with your mom, but you need somebody to be like, listen.
That throw me under the bus.
Yeah. Like, well, we don't have to be as close as you and your daughter. I could say you're being a dumb right now. With all
Right.
love. And trust you to do the same for me if and when that happens. But Christ. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, Foxy. I am going to muse about what to do about this prison development. That's
Yeah.
a bummer. I got to tell you. That's really
Absolutely.
disheartening. That's like the sort of thing I would expect to see in like a dystopian movie, like a movie made in the 80s about 2024 that was supposed to
Right.
be apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Killer.
What are you going to do, though? I mean, it is sad that it's almost like they are brainwashing them because that's the only news that they have access to. I mean, they can't just go down and buy a newspaper or go online and check it out for themselves.
Yeah.
So,
And you get, 100 days of that, you're going to be like, no wonder I'm in here. The Jews have been out to get me this whole time.
Exactly.
I wasn't even on guard. I can't get more disappointed in America every day. I just
right?
can't. There's got to be a finite amount of disappointment, but it just keeps happening.
I know. It's horrible. And they think that Trump is the way to freedom. Yeah.
It hurts.
I know.
Don't you like? I'm so like the first disappointment was that the great villain of our generation isn't very cool. It's like I'm finding out we're the Smurfs because we're up against Gargamel or whatever. I'm like, oh, this is lame. I was hoping we'd have Lex Luthor.
On a plus side, though, I think we are getting a little ahead of Trump. He's kind of disintegrating. I mean, I kind of take pleasure in that. I shouldn't, but I do.
I'm pulling this up. Harris, Trump, poll.
Yeah. she's up in by 4 points in a bunch of the swing states.
I'm going to go to a news source that I trust most about America, the BBC. Trump and Harris battle over elections' biggest issues. Let's see. The article came out yesterday. Let me see if we got a poll here. I'm going to start by doing the classic, searching for the word poll. Okay. It seems like an obvious strategy for Trump to focus on the economy. No. Oh, my God. I hate everything. I'm going to have to use the back button. Sorry to say. Oh, here we go. Al Jazeera, even better. Okay. From somebody at Al Jazeera. No byline given. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are holding campaign events in the key U.S. swing state of Pennsylvania this weekend. This is from today. Okay. This weekend, as the race between the United States presidential candidates heats up before November's elections, Trump will hold a rally he's finally holding a rally in a place where he didn't screw somebody out of the fee for the event. In the small town of Wilkes-Barre on Saturday, while Harris is expected to make several stops on a bus tour around the city of Pittsburgh Sunday. Show me a poll, please. Oh, here we go. An earlier New York Times, son of a gun, Siena poll released last week also showed Harris with 50% support amongst voters in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Ha-cha-cha! Compared with Trump's 46% support in each state. That's what I'm talking about. Harris is crushing it. Up like, I think 10 points, 12 points from where Joe Biden was. Good God almighty. Somewhat related. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's worth noting when we're talking about side note Trump voters. When we're talking about where Trump is holding campaign rallies, I just heard something from Michael Cohen over on the Midas Touch. Foxy, you may have heard this as well, because I know you're a fan. Apparently, whenever Trump holds an event in the atrium of Trump Tower, he's breaking the law. He's charging the RNC for that event. So first of all, already when he holds them at places he owns at all, he's bleeding the RNC for money. He could do it for free. He chooses not to. He's essentially embezzling. But it's even worse in the atrium of Trump Tower because that belongs to the city of New York, the people. It's just part of the setup they have, which means when he's charging the RNC for that space, it's like if I charged you to use your living room. It doesn't make any sense.
And that's essentially what he's doing.
It's what he's doing. Yes. So it's fraud again, repeat offender with fraud. It's got to be some kind of campaign finance shenanigans. Hey, gang, the next time you see him in the atrium of Trump Tower doing an event, report it. In fact, let's see Letitia James's email. Letitia James email address. Okay. Hey, gang, real quick. Posting this in the comments. If you want to do something about making, if you just want to make Trump's day worse, which I always do, use that link I just posted in the chat. You can contact the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, and ask her to, intervene. Whenever Trump uses the atrium at Trump Tower, he's using public property. If he's charging the RNC for it, well, gosh, he's doing fraud again. He's already been found guilty of fraud. The Trump org has. He's a convicted felon already on an unrelated thing. That, I think, ups the charges quite a bit. Just food for thought.
You know what I find amazing is that the Project 2025, in the beginning of these series of videos, it goes through the things that they will not accept for any role in the government, the shadow government. And they go through like bankruptcy. If you have bankruptcy, you can't be in the clan, the group.
Yes.
If you are a felon, you can't be, but they're going to let Trump be the president. It makes no sense. Like nothing that they say ever makes any sense. It's contradictory. It just has no logic to it.
That Trump could not get hired by Project 2025. Can't have debt. Can't be a felon. I assume can't be on record as
can't be a tax evader.
Yeah.
That's right too.
I didn't make him do it. I didn't make him. What was it, Ellen? Wherever he went on TV, he can't do it, man.
Right?
Yeah, he could not get hired by his own crony organization. Also worth noting, what was the deal with Trump voting in Florida? He can't be can you vote as a convicted felon in Florida?
I think you can, because there's the loophole that he was convicted in a different state.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. A felony conviction in Florida for murder or a sexual offense makes somebody ineligible to vote in Florida. unless and until the person's right. Let's see. Doesn't matter. It wasn't murder or a sexual offense. I mean, he did absolutely do a sexual offense in New York, but that was a civil case. So
Yeah.
noted. Wow. This guy, how is it possible that he is the candidate? How is it possible that this isn't a layup of an election?
Well, it was.
Yeah,
So-
in the exact wrong way. Yes. Well, that is why we have this stream. Hey, MAGA folks, if you're not liking all the pot shots we're taking at Trump up here, in the words of a great American philosopher, Chamauna, get on up here. Get up onto this. I don't recall. I did recall. It's get up onto your feet, but that doesn't make sense. Anyway, join the conversation and come convince me why I'm wrong. Because the only thing we have to talk about, the only thing that is a matter of discussion, because nothing else beyond it is relevant, is 2020. Was the election stolen or not? Why do you think it was? And I'll explain why you're wrong. I think, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not, but maybe I am. And you'll convince me that I am. Again, I'm not. You are. But hypothetically, I'm
I would
getting
like
too
to know
cocky. 'Cause
what
Foxy's
Trump
here.
has done for any of these voters. That's what I would
Nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. But what do they think that he's done for?
Yeah. I can't wait to Google it. I can't wait to Google live and watch the eyes get big as saucers in my fantasy. Here's what's probably going to happen. We'll argue about 1 point. We will never get past 1 point. That's what I think. And I'll weep inside. I'll age more. And yeah.
It happens.
All right. Quick question, since I know you watch a lot of the shows. If I had to debate anybody in the Left Past 10 crew, who do you think I have the best chances against? Yeah. Oh, I'm putting you on the spot.
I don't know. Who do you have the best chance against? I don't really know. Is her name Andrea or Andrea?
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about her, so I'm gonna pick her
Here's the
because
thing.
I know the others.
That's the thing. I think I got the best chance against Andrea, specifically because I think she would get annoyed by my inability. The same reason I'm going to get annoyed when we get a Trump person up here. My inability to process information quickly. I'm planning on trying to goad one of them to jump onto one of these things. But I want to pick my my opponent very well, because I'm going to be doing all dirty tricks to try to get through it.
What will you be debating about?
I haven't figured that out yet. I'm going to use it to try to get him on here. I think we argue in an entertaining way. I want more of that. I should come up with a very wrong opinion about something nerdy, and that'll get Andrea on here for sure. I should be like, my favorite Star Wars character, hands down, is Worf. I love Michael Dukakis, who plays him, and something Firefly.
Or you could just wear that tie you were wearing the other day.
That was a fantastic tie, and I'll hear no opinions to the contrary. Yes, what? All right, you're going up here. 1 second.
Oh no.
Keep mumbling to solve for time, but found a knife, but not the tie. What the? Okay, well, I did think. Oh, it is right here. Look, it's a treasure tie. It's
Is
subtle,
there
damn.
some sentimental value to it?
I just
you're
like a
attached
nice,
to-
solid color tie. I don't like all these patterns. I don't know why
But it's
people want
boring.
me. Boring has its virtues.
Okay.
Well, Well, I was going to have many delightful things to say, but now I'm going to be a sassy bitch and and kick you off. No, I want to try to goad some Trump people to come and talk to me and tell me why I'm wrong. So I shall say goodbye to you for now, Foxy, but thank you for calling in.
Bye-bye.
That was Wicked Foxy Dragon, author of Uncommon Sense. You can check it out on Facebook and wherever else she says it is. She's smart. If you want to know where my best opinions come from, they're generally from one of you guys, and then again, generally from Foxy, telling me discreetly, "Hey, here's a smarter thing than what you said." And then the next day, I say the thing, and there's where the opinions come from, the good ones. Anti-corporatist has a point here. I'm telling you, Jake, go vertical. Pinky and I were about to have to ban a couple of clowns this morning, and you were only on for 10 minutes. Son of a gun. Really? I don't want that to be true. It's a problem. It can't be that easy. Fuck. All right, fine. All right. Worf, yes. All right. In StreamYard, I can't change this. Or can I? I actually might be able to. Midstream, though? No. Wait, new layout. Nope. All right, I'll bear that in mind for the future. I'll try do it. But the problem is, then I can't do a call-in show. Can I? Probably. You know, there's certainly a way to do it. I'll figure it out. I will do it when I'm not live and already trying. The anti-corporatist. I mean, one of them was a simple Trump 2024. Why am I reading it when I could be displaying it? But the same thing happens on Irene's vertical streams. They're cursed, or possibly it's a dark blessing. What do you call a bad miracle? A jean jacket. Perhaps it's a jean jacket. How is it that Irene does it with the vertical and the regular way? Yeah. Geller, right? No comment chick. Because I see her shorts all the time, and they're like that. She does like shorts streaming. To be continued, for sure. I know for sure I can't do it or won't be able to figure it out midstream. So I'm going to move on, but I will remember it for next time that I try to get MAGA folks to sign up. In the meantime, I'm hoping that when they mouse over the suggested videos, they see what I'm watching and think, I have thoughts about this. And so I'm going to pull up this. Oh, am I going to pull up the serve time? Son of a bitch. I'm going to do this real quick. Look who. He's doing it vertical. You're right.
Anyway, yeah, we got people leaving the stadium.
Trump fails to fill stadium in Pennsylvania. That was. Well, that does sound hilarious.
There are evil people who have evil positions.
Stand by, gang. Nope, they'll just see it's Lance. I need to find something. Ooh. Oh, you know we got to watch some Project 2025. All right. So, gang Areno. I was thinking of marathoning, by the way. I don't know if you guys watch Riverboat Jack, but she's does the same thing we do. But she's been marathoning Project 2025 vidges. That's a good idea. I might do all 14 hours of them one of these days. And we just, I don't know, find Annie Fitzgerald's campaign. How about that? Do the full marathon, and we take donos for Fitzgerald's campaign. Which will mean that what we're about to do is somewhat annoying. But I'm going to do it anyway. Because I do think this is a great thing to talk about for, for talking to MAGA voters. Oh, never mind. We'll get there. I was going to do the whole Project 2025 video. First, I want to talk about this. Right, Cha? Trump campaign paid Drake Enterprises, a non-union auto parts shop in Clinton Township, that's in the somewhat decent state of Michigan, $20,000 to stage a fake event with members holding signs, "Union Members for Trump," behind it. Okay, MAGA folks, this is the kind of thing I want to talk to you about. This right here. This is a lie. Not what's written there, but what's described there is a lie Trump paid $20,000 to engage in. Non-union members held up a sign that said "Union Members for Trump." The shop got 20 grand to do that. Here's my question for you. Why did he have to lie? Is it because he couldn't find actual union members to be for Trump to gather in a place? He did this when there was a union strike. You know who went and walked the line with those striking workers? Your old pal Jake. But you know who else did? Joe Biden. Joe Biden did. But Donald Trump lied about it to you. Why are you okay with this guy lying to you? Are you okay with this guy lying to you? Even if you don't care about unions specifically, it should concern you that he paid money to a group to pull off a stunt that would deceive you. I'm assuming did deceive you. Because I'm assuming you haven't heard about that before now. Because I think I know what kind of media you watch. Media which lies for Trump. Look at this mustache. You can probably win an argument with me. I chose to do this to my face. How bright can I be? I just think I got a pretty good chance of winning the argument personally because I have taken pains to see if I'm wrong beforehand, before committing to something as drastic as a presidential vote. I looked hard at reality. So I'm confident. But you ought to be too. I'll tell you this. I'll make you this promise. MAGA folks, if you're willing to click on the link pinned in the description and on the YouTube channel, if you're willing to do that and come on here and talk to me, I'm not going to holler at you. Normally I holler. I'm not going to do that. Not this time. Because there's just one thing we have to talk about. 2020 election. Was it stolen? If it was, if you can show me what information I missed, I will be grateful to you. Genuinely. I mean, I don't think I missed any. I read the entirety of the January 6th report. I got that on audiobook. But if I did miss information, man, I will be grateful for you showing me what I missed. But if you missed information, boy, you got to have it. You got to have the information that you currently lack, because it is wild to me that anybody would even consider a vote for Donald Trump. Anybody that doesn't want to destroy America. And I know that sounds hyperbolic, but I mean it quite literally. Like, Putin wants America destroyed. He never let the Cold War go. Hey, speaking of, Fox host, it was your colleagues in the Republican Party who torpedoed your border bill, not Democrats. Senator Langford, a Republican from Oklahoma. It was. Trump said, don't fix anything, so my colleagues looked for a reason to shoot against it. Thought you guys cared about border security. I know you don't really. But you said you did. So are you going to keep pretending you do now that Trump fucked it up? Probably not. But you see, this happens with everything. This happens with the economy. This happens with criminal justice. This happens with climate change. This happens with international relations. This happens with anti-terrorist task force. This happens with how to pave roads, how to fund schools. Every single time, people that vote for monsters like Trump say they have this principle or that. Inevitably, the people they vote for demonstrate that they don't share those principles. They certainly don't govern with those principles in mind. Sane people point it out to you, rationally, politely, with extraordinary patience. And you choose to ignore it. And you move on to the next wackadoo thing. I want to point out there really isn't even a problem at the border beyond a lack of judges to process asylum claims. That's it. That's the whole border crisis. That's the whole thing right there. It's not people sneaking in. It's not fentanyl coming through. That's not a border crisis that we're having, unless you consider, the U.S. citizens that smuggle it in. That's where most fentanyl comes from. I'm apparently distantly related to Joe Biden. Oh, no. That's where most fentanyl comes from. The problem we have with border security is not enough judges to process asylum claims. That's it. And, needlessly strict measures against people just seeking safety in America. But even so, Democrats were willing to pretend like there was any validity at all to the complaints of Republicans. And they made a bill that progressives like me hated and Republicans loved, so much so that they were going to sign it. It was a bipartisan bill. And then Trump demanded that they not. In your minds, again, I think you're wrong, but in your minds, that legislation that was written up would have solved a major problem. And Trump demanded it not be passed. He controlled your party, even though he's out of power. He couldn't hold on to the office. He nonetheless controlled your spineless representatives. You tell me how accurate their representing of you is. He controlled them, told them not to pass it. Why are you still considering voting for this guy? You really think these things are problems, the border, etc.? Or is it what I think it is? Is it what I suspect? You don't really care about the border. Or even really, you don't even really care about the people coming across the border. You don't really think that there's Jack the Ripper times 9 or whatever they say. sneaking under the border with tunnels burrowed by molemen. You don't really think all that stuff. It's just stuff you say because you enjoy arguing with people that want to make the world better. It makes you feel good to be an obstacle to decency. I don't know why, but that's the impression I get of you. If I'm wrong, come on here and tell me that I'm wrong. But my impression of you is that you don't feel personally that you have any value. And you want to be noticed, you want to be seen, you want to be counted as someone who is here on this earth. And the way you get your kicks in this short life we have is to harm everybody. Everybody look at me. I'm the guy with the lighter burning the curtains. All right, look, I'll see you. I'll look right at you. I'll talk to you. Just got to click the link. We'll talk. Stop burning the curtains. Serious things are happening. I think you all suffer from a terrible lack of ambition, societal ambition. Once upon a time, we saw the moon and said, I'll race you there. Now you pass the time by trying to harass immigrants. You would not have let your own grandparents into the country. That's who you've become. We got to work this out. Call in. In the meantime, let's tear into Project 2025 nonsense. I thought there'd be a tune, but there wasn't. Do some quick highlights from the chat. Anti-corporatist. Be right back. No. It's part of the fascist playbook. Agreed. Foxy saying half of Trump supporters don't even know what the playbook is. Also agreed. Anti-corporatists and also the elites. Don't blame the rich. It's the brown people taking your jobs. Yeah, I say it's your boss's problem for being allowed to give your job to what you would describe as an illegal immigrant. Or how about this? Another way to phrase that is exploiting labor. I don't care what country you're from. Don't exploit labor, anybody's labor. Don't take somebody's day and say, I found a way to pay them less for that day they didn't spend with their family. I don't care what country you came from. That's a shitty thing to do to somebody. And it's not the brown person's fault. It's your scumbag boss's fault. Pinkerbell. What is so frustrating to me is that Trump voters see the degradation of literally everything around them in the never-ending pursuit of profit above all. They see things getting worse, but instead of placing the blame where it belongs, corporations and the owner class, Pink being a full 2 minutes ahead of me here, they want to blame Mexicans. Somehow it's easier for them to believe than to actually confront the systematic reality. Yeah, it's the guy at a bar who pretends like a smaller person spilled the drink on him than the person that actually spilled the drink on him. They got a drink spilled on him, and rather than choosing to be cool, they first said, I want to fight about this, and then they saw who did it, and they said, I don't want to fight that person. And so they struck someone they judged to be an easier scrap. They have irrational reactions to things because they are, frankly, not equipped to deal with reality. That's the impression I get. Most Republicans, not equipped for reality. Can't handle facts. Really and truly. I mean, genuinely. They built a whole fake reality. Do you want to know when I started understanding Republicans? I got real into Warhammer 40K lore and Star Wars lore and Lord of the Rings lore. I was a big fan of George R.R. Martin Song of Ice and Fire lore before I was a fan of the actual books. I have since read all of the books. I think they're great. I prefer the Dunk and Egg series, but still. But I was a fan of the lore first. There's something very satisfying about memorizing pages and pages and pages, hours and hours of untrue things that sort of fit together in a fun way. When I started deriving satisfaction from that, I started understanding at least what the casual consumption of Republican media is like. It occurred to me, and maybe I will have been wrong about this, but it occurred to me that the person who consumes this media does not actually think it is real. They are just coming up with a series of excuses that get them through conversations. The sort of thing I'm offering here, a Debate Me stream, is for them like jumping over a gully on a dirt bike. It's a little thrill. Can I do it? But I don't think that deep down, you Republicans, if you're out there listening, I don't think you actually believe, not really, the things you say are true about the world. That's a real problem. Because now, as a country, the United States has to make some real decisions. Consequences have cropped up from our lack of willingness to deal with the world as it is. We need to start getting about the business of earning our generation's place in history, of doing the sort of things that will make us remembered as a people. Sitting around deciding which billionaire gets to have the fanciest fleet of yachts is not going to impress anybody. Being the first folks to walk on Mars will. Creating a network of infinite power, a Dyson sphere that surrounds the Earth and solves global warming and also provides power to everyone on planet Earth. That will, hell yeah. How about providing internet for everyone on Earth? How about fill in the blank, man? There's ambitious stuff we could be doing. We can't because we are dealing with 20th century problems because there are a huge, huge group of us that choose to live in a fiction. I'm a big fan of fiction. I'm a big fan of fictional settings. Only if you acknowledge that it is, in fact, fiction. If you are a MAGA supporter, do use the pinned link in the YouTube comments section. We will discuss this very thing. Hey, speaking of, I'm going to go over to Twitch. Apparently, I'm going to go to Hannah Reloaded on Twitch. Don't care. I'm not going on Twitch. If you're on Twitch watching, congratulations. You found the coolest show that exists on the internet. But go over to YouTube where the link is. Do that much work. And use that invite link. All right. I'm going to see what the Wicked community had to say. Merry Saturn Day, says Mars Falcon. Wireless Mike, good to see you. Mars Falcon, hello. Bark Eater, Jay. Yay, Twitch. Oh, you are on Twitch. All right, I'll explain what happened. I have to do a special code to log in to Twitch, and I didn't. Bark Eater, Jay, for real, if you are a... oh, son of a gun. Look at this. I'm the sole holdout on Twitch. All right, good. I don't feel bad. You have access to the link then. Good. Bomber Fox, hello. Oh, they do believe it. Trust me, they believe it. All right, Bomber Fox, explain this to me then. How come when we see a fancy TV comedian go into a Trump rally, they will ask one of the Trump voters there something along the lines of, hey, do you think Joe Biden is the president? And that person says, no. And then they say, okay. So is Donald Trump responsible for the decisions made by the president, or is Joe Biden? Here's a decision you didn't like. Is that Donald Trump or Joe Biden that's responsible? And they go, well, that's Joe Biden. They're lying, and they know they're lying. They don't believe it. I'm sorry. I know they say they do. I know they're willing to live like they do. I know they're willing to commit to it. I've seen a lot of weird cats in my time. But they know those two things contradict each other. It's LARPing. I try to understand politics, but I do understand nerds. They're LARPing. That's what I'm seeing. If it's not that, then please do explain to me how one person holds both those thoughts in their head. They've been walking around blaming Biden for things while saying they believe Trump is really the president. While saying you got to go vote for Trump again. I thought he did 2 terms already. Please tell. I mean, I'm not even asking you to make it make sense. I'm just asking for your theory of this. You know, what is your theory of how this works? If they believe it, how are they walking around with 2 conflicting beliefs right next to each other on this very important topic? Because that we got to. It's the time has come. We have to address it. I'm going to keep doing this until I have a productive conversation with these folks. Bomber Fox. Oh, I have family that believes it 100%. I believe you, Bomber Fox. I do. But I need you to offer me that insight. If you say they believe it 100%, I'll say this. I don't actually think that is so. What I think, and I'm somebody who's so dumb that I got an eyelash. Ow. I got an eyelash in my eye a week ago, and I rubbed it so much it became infected, and I won't stop rubbing it. So understand that I'm not claiming to be terribly bright here. But my theory is your family tells you that they 100% believe it, and excitedly and passionately talks to you about all their little theories, trying to get you on board. But it's like cult members. I think they're taking comfort in a shared fiction. And part of it is that you always pretend like it's real. But they contradict themselves. So how let's take what you're saying as granted. How does your family that you say believes this 100%, how do they deal with the contradictions? Miss Jen's cat's good to see you. And also, hey, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. You don't have to answer. I truly want to know this because it doesn't make any sense to me right now. And there's dangerous consequences for it. Wireless Mike, Jake, some of these people think wrestling is real. Yes, and that hurts. You know, I got a guy to stop believing wrestling was real in the 8th grade. And it was a shockingly easy conversation. The guy said, no, it's real. It's real. And I brought up a storyline that had happened recently where one wrestler burned down the home of another wrestler in the storyline. And I asked, why wasn't that person arrested? And they, after some discussion, couldn't answer that question. And they happily conceded, okay, it's not real. And they still loved wrestling. As do I. That is my unrealistic hope. There's a lot of folks that pretend to love America that don't actually love America. They don't actually, and it's not their fault that they don't love America. It's because they don't know what America is at all. And I'm hoping that I can explain to them that the presidency is in fact just a bunch of stuntmen performing live. No, I'm hoping that we arrive at this conclusion where we're all here in reality. We don't necessarily agree on what to do about it, but at least we're all here and we love what things could be. I love the setup of it. Bomber Fox. Well, they are definitely 100% on replacement theory. Maybe, man. I got to talk to these folks. And I'm sorry to hear that, by the way, Bomber Fox. If you're watching stuff like this for funsies, then you have a great deal of actual knowledge, which means you carry with you the burden of knowing the harm being done right now by this kind of stuff. And it sucks. It sucks when your family is one of the... I'm going to be real about the words future generations will use. When your family is one of the victims of this con that has been going on, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hopefully we'll pull somebody's family out of this. What did Mars Falcon say? Jake hurts his eyes is going on the bingo card. Yeah, I can't believe I misread that too. Yeah, it's weird how much I've done that on this channel, on this show. A lot. Like, what a great deal of frequency. I gotta stop touching my eyes. But then I think about it and I want to. Oh, and it feels so good. All right. For some, it is a community. It fills a hole inside their lives, makes them feel involved, perhaps important. Myriad reasons, often layered. True. And I'm telling you, I get it, man. I understand nerd culture for sure. Yeah, it fills a hole in their lives. Yeah, when I was I didn't actually ever go to LARPing things, but I desperately wanted to when I was younger. I thought that was awesome. And when I was a young professional in the news industry, I found excuses to have my channel go cover LARPing events because I thought that was fun. And it is fun. And I see these communities, and you know what? They're structured basically exactly like MAGA communities are. I'm surprised that MAGA doesn't do this when they need to real quick talk about something real. Like, we're gonna go burn down the Capitol and finally get Pelosi. I actually got to pick up my kids early tomorrow, so I gotta be home at a reasonable time. Okay. And then we're gonna camp out all night and find the hidden map on the back of the Declaration of Independence. I brought some fun highlighters. If you squeeze lemon on them, you can see invisible ink. So I thought we'd do something with that. Like, it's LARPing. It's fucking LARPing, except it gets people killed. It's the weirdest hobby I have ever seen. I love wrestling. I always go when the local promotion comes to town. It's so fun and so gay. Yeah, it's super gay. It is. I love that element of it as well. I think, again, I was so depressed to find out the Ultimate Warrior wasn't a nice guy behind the scenes, because I remember seeing that dude come running out with the neon, what have you, and thinking, like, that guy must be a hoot. Imagine getting drunk with a dude like that at a party. A dude who's willing to slam. Fucking hilarious. Same thing with Hulk Hogan. Although I hear tell that Jesse Ventura and CM Punk are rad as hell. Related note, let's talk wrestling for a second. I will get to this Project 2025 video, just maybe on another stream, because it's Tangent City, and I'm trying to get some MAGA folks to contact me. If nobody does, I'm reusing that thumbnail. All right. I think that we have seen that monopolies for wrestling are bad, just like monopolies for everything are bad. Let me show you something. Two shakes of a lamb's tail, gang. Not that. Yeah, we'll do this. Most of my life is politics. I was at another job earlier today, and I still wanted to talk about the Harris stream. But occasionally, when I use a steamroller granted by a dear friend and get absolutely obliterated, occasionally I watch robots fight each other. NHRL, I started watching like a year ago, but I've been a fan of BattleBots since it came out on Comedy Central.
They're lined up to take a big rush. We'll see.
Yeah, I would
5,
expect
4,
that is a big
3.
spinner on
Just
its
watch
opponent.
it.
They want to get to it as quick as possible.
Fight, robots fight.
That is exactly.
Flying up into the wall, upside down already.
That takes
he can
some
correct himself.
serious
He's
guts
got
to go
plenty of
weapon to
force.
weapon with
Come on.
something as big and dangerous as Mirage.
Aries having a
One
little bit
fight.
of an
Ooh.
issue here. Looks like their left side is down after that initial hit. Is this going
Get
to
him.
be enough? We've seen Mirage get stuck on its head earlier
Got that
today.
Scorpion robot wisely
They
hanging
kinda
back till
did
the opportune
thing, as we
moment.
say. Weapon to weapon here. Not what Aries
Uh-oh.
wanted.
There's
And
a bad
don't
spot
touch
for
him.
Aries
Leave
to
him.
come out of it. We're not seeing anything from its mini bot.
Aries,
see-
both half of Aries are having drive issues.
It's an exciting sport. It's engineers battling each other. This is the closest we have in real life to wizard duels. Fucking cool. The relevance here is that NHRL is a lot more difficult to set up. It was local competitions, and it was just somebody putting up like $500. Build a robot that does not exceed these specifications. We're going to fight them. Here's the rules for a win. Winner gets $500. Years later, YouTube channels springing up. The individual fighters do a whole channel where they're like, here's my build. Here's what I'm thinking next. Here's me at a bunch of local competitions. It's a profitable little industry. I want to see this happen to wrestling. There is nothing that says it's got to be WWE. You know? I want to see jacked live action stuntmen and stunt women basically doing backyard wrestling. Just play little gyms, you know? And there's going to be the YouTube star that inevitably rises up and is the equivalent of Dwayne Johnson, but for the indie circuit. In the age of not needing a fucking tower to broadcast, I'm telling you, a lot of the reason things are so centralized is just momentum. I want to see some fantastic wrestling. There are local wrestling circuits like that. That's what Pinky was talking about, Jake. Fuck yes. Yes. I want to see a dude that doesn't have my body type on there. You know, come on, put in the work. But I have a feeling this is going to be great. Jump ahead.
There he goes.
Oh. All right. All right. They do exist. Well, guess what I'm going to be watching now? So now we need to solve the other problem. How do we get storylines? How do we have a storyline carry through there? Keep me up to date. Mars Falcon. When will they have collected enough data and be able to use the Mars rovers for combat sports and entertainment? The world wants to know. They already can. They could right now. We could have the first robot fight on Mars. Holy what if India gets there too, or China or some shit? And we both want to study the same rock. You know there's going to be some engineers on Discord with each other like, listen, I realize that we are supposed to be bitter enemies here, but fucking cool robot fight, right? How long is your lag time? 17 minutes. Me too. This is fair fight. Robot fight. Yes. That's the only warfare I'm okay with. If it's off planet and between robots. Yeah, like old Batman fights. Yeah. Anti-gravity wrestling on a space station. I wrote a book with that. Once upon a time. That's not how you do science, but that's how science does wrestling. Turn-based robot fighting on the far side of the moon. This person gets it. Exactly. It's both chess and Battleship and the Matrix a little bit. And Rock'em Sock'em Robots. How are you not sold? Oh, we're going to lose out on several billion on this mission. Fucking send another one. I will happily, if it's U.S. taxpayer money, put me down for the robot fight. Yes. Like I have said before, after my first rejuvenation, I want to go help colonize the moon. I wholeheartedly agree. Your old pal Jake will be there. I can't afford a proper rejuvenation. It's just going to be doing whippets and sneaking aboard the space shuttle with you. But yeah, I'm in. They're going to make money. We televise that with the first-person camera, too. Shank. Pick up a Mars rock, slam it again. Let's watch this Project 2025 stuff. I talk robot fights with you all day. Ooh, whippets. Yeah, it's the trailer trash shots. Cripes. Okay. In my attempt to get MAGA folks to call in and talk to me about January 6th, I was going to play this ProPublica thing. Instead, what I'm going to do is hit you guys with a poll. I see myself talking about shanking, so I have a little bit of time. Start a poll real quick, and that poll asks, which should we use to draw in MAGA folks? All right, fine. Which should we view? J6 footage or Project 2025 training videos? Gang, you have got 7 shakes of a lamb's tail. In the meantime, I'm going to assume this is what wins, might not be, and start playing it. I'm going to play about 90 seconds of this. But vote, should we keep watching this or should we watch January 6th footage? Let me know. I'm refilling my coffee at the same time. The audience.
Welcome to the Political Appointee Survival Guide training. I'm Bethany Cosma. I had the privilege of serving as a political appointee in 2 Republican administrations, the most recent being the Trump administration. This training is focused on helping you not only survive as a new political appointee, but to thrive.
In the eyes of many in the world, this every 4-year ceremony we accept as normal is nothing less than a miracle.
All right, I can't even. I can't look. Trump fucked it up. You understand? This intro plays. This intro plays at the beginning of every 2025 thing, right? And goddamn Reagan says, "Whoa, this thing that happens every 4 years. I don't know why I'm this thing that happens every 4 years that America accepts." It. What the fuck does he say? Here it is.
Only we accept as normal is nothing less than a miracle.
Yeah, it was. It was. But then Trump fucking ruined it. Now it's not something the world marvels at. It used to be. Gang, it used to be. And now it's not. Now we're just another bunch of idiots that cannot hold an election because of Donald Trump. We lost a 250-year legacy of democracy because of that motherfucker. Let's see what the poll says. What does the poll say? J6 footage wins. All right. Oh, wait, it's 50-50. I'm going back to playing this thing. I'm going to put my coffee back. I just can't watch 30 seconds of this without getting furious. All
In
right,
America,
what do
we
you have?
understand that a nation is only living as long as it is striving.
Whether we go forward together with courage,
Ask these people. Project 2025, a worse America for everyone.
Now, you may be wondering, why do I even need a survival guide? Well, recently, the Heritage Foundation published a study examining federal campaign contributions made by career employees at USAID during the 2020 presidential election. The study showed that over 96% of donations went towards Democratic candidates. You are walking into an environment where 96% of your colleagues voted for the other candidate. Well, no amount of training can.
Okay. Ginger Skeletor here brings up an interesting point. Let's see where this poll is. Oh, yeah. All right. That's the end of the poll. It was close, but we ended up going with the Project 2025 training tape. Oh my gosh. Bomber Fox with the very kind $5. Let me pull that up. They admit they will go full Orwell by deleting language in U.S. documents in the Project 2025 videos. Yeah. Yeah. They're just evil, worn on its sleeve. Fair point. I love the thumbnail. Thank you for the $5. It is memberships and it is super chats that make this literally this show possible. Thank you. All right. Back to Satan's stepmother. To discuss. Oh yeah. They're trying to do this slur, this new, not the reason we specify racial slur when somebody uses a racial slur is because that is a specific thing. A slur just in general is a derogatory name for something, a reference to something. So when they say careers, they're trying to tap into that very natural racism that a conservative will have. And I'm just doing low blows because I'm hoping that I can annoy someone enough that they jump on the stream. But no, they're setting their employees up to be argumentative and to see functioning government as the bad guys and to only do the things that they're saying. Why would 96% of people in the current administration give to the Democrats? Well, two reasons. Number one, because the current administration put a lot of them there because they are the current administration, you dingbat. Thing number two is government employees generally understand that Democrats equal well-run governments. Therefore, your job is normal and good and functional, whereas Republicans are terrible at running anything at all. Okay.
Ever fully prepare everyone for every situation, I invited 6 former political appointees from the Trump administration to share with you our top 10 tips.
Oh, spooky. Well put, Bomber Fox. Because the point of Newspeak isn't to change language with new words. It's deleting language to ensure you cannot have words to describe your oppression.
Learned firsthand to help you avoid the pitfalls and survive the persecution that unfortunately many of us experience. The 10 tips you will learn today are all bits of information I wish I'd known before serving in the Trump administration. Even before I arrived, the careers already had it out for me.
The careers.
They tried to keep me from being hired. 2 weeks after I started, BuzzFeed did a hit piece on me, fueled by information that was leaked about my past advocacy, standing up for my children's safety against the radical gender ideology.
They found out that I am a anti-trans bigot. They found my bigotry and tried to stop my appointment. That's what she's saying. Good.
And Fairfax and Loudoun County Public Schools. I had a huge target on my back. Nevertheless, I was privileged to join USAID as the senior advisor for women's empowerment. And despite all the hostility and attacks, and there were many, I thrived, ultimately rising to Deputy Chief of Staff at USAID, all the while advancing President Trump's policies. Your first tip for survival is to know the president's policy positions. No matter what job you are selected for, whatever department, agency, or office, it's imperative to have a high-level view of the president's position on every area of policy. You may be working on issues that have a domestic focus, but it's equally important to know their foreign policy positions. Domestic policy affects foreign policy and vice versa. In one way or another, each policy position is interrelated to another, even if it's not clear at first. And if you want to be more informed on the president's policy positions, I would recommend listening to speeches and interviews and reading tweets and executive orders. During the Trump administration, I attended the Commission on the Status of Women at the United Nations. During negotiations, the topic of sovereignty came up. The U.S. career negotiator vocally opposed sovereignty, which completely went against the U.S. position. I vividly remember leaning over to tell the negotiator that she needed to change the position for the record because President Trump did support national sovereignty. And in fact,
what is she talking about? National sovereignty. What the fuck is she talking about? All right. First of all, Project 2025 person. You will not know what Trump's foreign policy aims are. They won't make any sense to you because they don't make any sense. The only way you'll know what he intends to do is if you have access to information that none of us do, which is who is bribing him, who bought, who paid for the purchase of the old post office, that property that was going to bankrupt him in 2023, and then didn't, because not only was it purchased, the whole world knew this guy needed to sell the thing. Would have let it go at a bargain, because what he needed was just to not pay for the lease. Instead, he was given a record amount of money for it, a staggering amount of money. I think it was $375 million. You could have got it for a song, could have got it for $1, just so he didn't have to pay for the lease, which I can't stress enough would have devastated him financially. Somebody through a Miami-based firm purchased it for gave Trump $375 million. I suspect Vladimir Putin. I don't know, but I do know there wasn't other bidders, so they didn't have to pay that much, and yet they chose to for some reason. Trump's getting bribed, so you won't know how he intends to specifically sell out the U.S. government unless you know who's bribing him. So I don't know why she's bothering to tell you. Read his tweets. As for this sovereignty thing, you're not supposed to know what that means. You're just supposed to look up the word sovereignty and see its definition and think somebody wanted America not to be sovereign. All countries are sovereign nations. It just means they control themselves. They are responsible for their own destinies. But you're just supposed to look that up and think those liberals wanted to do bad things again. And thankfully, we had this reanimated corpse to shriek at the career who was in there trying to say America isn't going to be sovereign anymore. She's lying to you.
Used the word sovereignty 21 times during his speech at the UN just 6 months earlier. Had I not been aware of this fact in the U.S. position, it would have been embarrassing to the United States and downright detrimental to our negotiating position on other matters.
Again, I promise you, nobody was saying, okay, and so you're saying in exchange for 2 sacks of grain, America won't be sovereign anymore. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, Trump said we should stay an independent nation that makes our own laws and not respond to other nations. Okay. That never happened because that's insane.
So no matter the topic, life, energy, trade, defense, abortion, gender ideology, climate change, Israel, whatever the topic may be, make sure that you are read up, listen up, and reflect the president's position.
You will do what mein Führer says.
At every opportunity, particularly in the field and the area for which you're serving. Knowing the president's policy positions will not only help you survive, but thrive. Your second tip is to think before you speak, write, or act. As a political appointee serving at the pleasure of the president, you are a de facto ambassador for the president. Whatever you say, whatever you write, whatever you do reflects not only on you, but also the president. Your number one job as an appointee is to carry forward and implement the president's agenda and policy, to be extensions of his leadership. As such, we must always be mindful that others are watching and seeking to discredit, derail, and even damage actions and outcomes that the president seeks to take.
Just want to point out the paranoia involved here. You must remember they're always watching. They're always trying to discredit you. They're always trying to make you seem like you're some kind of a crazy person who's paranoid and who's scraping at the walls. So make sure that there's no rats in your walls. Scrape away that wallpaper and check for bugs, literal and mechanical. Otherwise, they'll convince people that you're crazy and weird. Hey, have you turned in your menstrual cycle sheet yet? We need to know that information. Otherwise, we can't. Fucking creeps.
As political appointees, we are a unique group of about 4,000 individuals who are entrusted
Unique
to
is one
lead
word
and
for it.
guide millions of government employees for the benefit of all Americans. What we say matters. What we write matters. What we do matters. We must always be on our guard with our words, knowing that we will reflect either positively or negatively on the president. People are listening, and all the time. Even when we don't think others are paying attention, they are. Our blog posts, articles, books, publication, old school papers.
I know you want to say the N-word. We all want to say the N-word. We all do say the N-word to each other, in private. We say it. We love to say it. It's basically what I build my conversations around. Excuses to say the N-word. But you have to remember that apparently some people have a problem with it. It's not even like they have a problem with the word themselves. It's like they hate the hate behind it. It's so lame and boring of them. Anyway, when you inevitably say the N-word with your full throat and a hard R, make sure no one's recording.
Work reports, resumes, testimonies, even our photos, both past and present, are searched for and sifted through by the left in an effort to discredit us, attack the president, or damage what is being worked on in order to advance their alternative agendas. Make sure that you curtail your social media and remove items that are in any way damaging, vulgar, or contradict the policies you are there to implement. Do that now before you are appointed. If you don't want to end up having to explain something you said or wrote to your mother.
About blacks. Yeah, scrub. They talked about this in another video as well. Scrub your social media history. We know you're terrible people. We know the kind of people that are going to be signing up for this. I just thought of something. Sign up for Project 2025. One second, gang. In the chat, I have posted a link to sign up for Project 2025. Here's the thing. Sign up. Sign up for this. Number one, we don't want them to be able to trust the people that did sign up for it. We want them good and paranoid. I don't think Trump's going to win. I'll just tell you that. But we should take steps in case he does. Let's see if we can get a few of our people in there. Tell him whatever you need to tell him. These is Nazis. No rules apply. Tell them whatever you got to say to get on that list. And genuinely try to get the job. Because if they do take over, they will try to end the United States. And they might ask you to be the person to do it. And you got to Mike Pence that. Nope. Nope, not doing it. You know what I did? I did the opposite of the training videos. I listened to the careers, as you say, and I did what they said. It was pretty easy, and it seemed to make sense, and it seemed to obey the Constitution. So I did, those things. And I reported our conversations. Nobody even had to FOIA me. I just sent them directly to the FBI as a whistleblower, and I've blown the whistle on you. And incidentally, there's an FBI agent sitting right there who's asked me to send you his way. Let's just piss off a Trump supporter more. Her way. Oh. Sign up for that.
Or the president, then don't. In the same manner, how we act carries tremendous weight in how we're perceived and how well we represent the president. Our actions, both publicly and privately, must be impeccable.
This gal.
By being a
This gal. Well done, Foxy.
appointees, you are by default under the microscope, and everything you do eventually can become public and likely will. I don't want to alarm you, but simply remind you to always be on, be alert, and be above reproach. Not only will you reflect highly upon yourself, your colleagues, and the president, you will be able to overcome the left's attacks and thrive while doing so.
And thrive. You will finally defeat
Your next
Superman.
tip comes
She's
from my
just-
dear friend
she
Katie,
sounds
who left
so fucking evil. All right, let's see what Katie has to say.
her job as a state trial court judge to serve in the
Oh my God. Wait a minute. Watch Katie reassess. Hold on. Watch Katie reassess her life decisions. My good friend Katie, and watch the pain enter her eyes in the next part.
friend Katie, who left her job as a state trial court judge to serve in the
I was a state trial court judge, and I left it to serve Trump.
Trump administration at the Department of Justice. Katie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Bethany. It's such a pleasure.
Katie's heart is broken right now.
Katie had a few positions during the Trump administration,
but the most important was handmade.
Notably, the Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General running the Office of Justice Programs at the Department of Justice. Are you glad that you made the leap?
Oh, I am, Bethany. There is nothing.
I've been taking a lot of Valium to adjust, and I feel like I have the right amount now. I can't actually feel sadness or love, but a lot of that had left anyway. But mostly what it does is make me not think about the life I gave up to, help evil. That's what it's about. 13 pills a day. Sometimes I take an extra half bottle, but about 13.
No greater honor than serving the President of the United States. It was the greatest honor of my life.
Definitely
Even
not
though
a
it's
huge
a
mistake.
lot of hard work, I found it to be true that 1 year as a political is like 5 years in normal work time. You're not only representing the president, and in my case, the attorney general, you're also navigating the waters of.
This is not a repeat, although we did watch a video with the Stepford Frankenstein, and I don't know if it was this gal, but some other vacant, sort of dead inside looking creature. So there have been some of those. Yeah, wholeheartedly agreed. Every single one of them has got to go. Oh, she's reading. I am shocked that she can read.
Of the federal workforce. I had never worked in the federal government, and I had to learn very quickly.
Katie, is there a top tip that you would share with new political appointees?
Yes.
Leave your family. Oh my God, really? Leave your family before they leave you. Is that what it's going to be?
Learn the lingo. I believe a smart way to approach federal service as a political is to look at it like you're learning a foreign language, especially if you're coming into service like I did with little or no experience.
Things like anti-constitutional or hate crime or crime against humanity. They have fun little acronyms like CAH. You should know what these things are before you're accused of them because you've done them.
With the federal government. Federal employees use a lot of acronyms. In my very first job, I was at an executive level, and on my first day, the staff was trying to brief me, and they just used acronym after acronym, and I was trying to Google under the table.
Like see you next Tuesday.
So I could look, very competent to them until I realized, people in the middle of the country don't talk like that. And so when you are serving the public, when you're serving the citizens of this country as a federal employee, should speak like they do. So I asked them to stop using acronyms and actually use the words. And that was very helpful.
Katie, that's great advice.
Yeah. And Bethany, there's also nuances to the phrases and words, which are used universally. And you have to figure out how they are applicable. For instance, when a federal employee uses the word policy, they're typically using a policy to say why they can't perform a task that you've asked them to do. This policy is something that was probably developed internally prior to you getting there by the last administration or even years and years before.
All right. You don't normally do that on account of stability of government. If it's the policy, it was set by people that were voted for. That said, let me throw you a bone, Trump types. I agree with the Hansel and Gretel devourers here. I actually think you don't need to obey policy. You need to obey law. You certainly don't need to obey somebody's opinion, man. For example, the Office of Legal Counsel's opinion that a president cannot be charged, a sitting president cannot be charged with a crime. And for that matter, can't be investigated because they can't be charged. That is just an opinion. The people of the United States, we never said that. We never decided on that. Somebody back in Nixon days was just looking for someone in government to come up with the official sounding excuse for not living in a democracy. And that's what they came up with. And that is what we went with for 40 years. And now here we are. Hey, Trump folks, we can work together. Progressives don't like that rule. I bet you don't like that rule either. I bet you would have loved for Biden to be investigated by the DOJ properly. He had a special counsel investigation, truth be told. But I bet you'd love it if Biden could have been charged with the crime. So would I. I don't want a king. Let's work together on that. You tell your people, you make whatever sacrifice you have to in order to speak with the demons that you've chosen to represent you. You tell them that you don't want the OLC's opinion to be recognized anymore. Tell them you want legislation that makes it clear that a U.S. president can indeed be investigated, can indeed be charged with a crime while in office. And I'll go tell my representatives, who are human beings with emails, so I'll just email them. I don't have to make any blood sacrifice. I'll email my representatives and tell them the same thing, because this is something that we agree on, even though you want to drag the world down into the depths of hell, and I want to make reasonable living conditions for all Americans, including you. This is one thing we agree on. So let's work together, you rat. Let's do it. We don't have to like each other, but we can work together on some things. I can't do 47 minutes of this shit. Let me be real. Oh. All right, I can do. I maybe I can. Let's go.
With that, what do you do if this policy exists?
So what do you do?
Yeah. And in that case, you ask for the policy.
So close. So close. What can you do? Almost said it.
And you ask to see it in writing. And it's somewhat stunning how that you find that frequently they cannot provide that.
No, you know what? You know what? Honestly, what they are doing with these videos, they're identifying weaknesses in the U.S. government. I know we're watching this with a critical eye. We should be. A lot of what they're advocating for is straight up fascism. But what happens if Kamala Harris gets put into office? She needs to appoint a bunch of folks too. Y'all should, I'll do this for you. I'll do the paperwork. I'll look into how you apply. Apply for positions there. Find out, even if you don't get it, find out who did. Let's see how many of them are willing to push a pen for justice. Because doing something like show me the policy is actually smart. It's very savvy. For example, if you're saying, I'm signing off on fines for this company, which has been dumping chemicals in a river. And they say, well, actually, it's our policy. We're not issuing fines this quarter. Or for whatever sick neoliberal things going on. You now know, having watched this video, that you can say, show me that policy. Oh, you can't find it. It's just been a practice of this office. Oh, this office had a bunch of people that worked for this company in it recently. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. Exactly what I said I was going to do. I'm going to find this company. Let's use some of this. Let's fight back.
In writing.
I've heard that.
So then you try to look back historically.
Exactly,
where did this policy, where did it emanate from? And so what you first do is, if you can get it in writing, you look at it, and then you see if you can either redact it, if it's an internal policy, and you can say this is no longer the policy.
MAGA, we will work with you to pass the President is Not a King Act. Do you not want King Joe Biden and, let's be frank, Queen Kamala Harris? Well, help us sign this thing. Let's get it done. They really need to figure out a way to make it so that the president can't just flout the law. Yeah, we need an American Magna Carta.
You can replace it with something that is more in line with the president that you're serving and his or her priorities. Or if it's not in writing, then at that point you can say this is a policy that you've been following, but it's not actually a policy that's on the books, and inform everyone we will no longer be following that policy. And actually the federal employees, once you are able to speak their language, were very responsive and had an easier.
Interesting. So it's all about learn the lingo
Yes.
to be able to speak their language.
Yeah,
Yes.
you see though.
Definitely.
God, she's just her soul. There's like an ember of it fading out, and we're watching that play out on her face. Gang, we need to do the same thing. The very thing they're pitching. How to hide tyranny. Yeah. Because what they're talking about doing is ignoring the rules and regulations that the people put in place to hold back the robber barons. What I suggest we do is take these devils' same playbook and use it against them. When one of the robber baron's henchmen winds up in a position above you, you say, show me the policy. And if they can't do it, you say, all right, well, then your boss is fucked. Because you don't know how to complain to your actual on-paper boss, because there is no policy. Because you all just assumed this whole time that decent people would never be here. But knock, knock, motherfucker. Now get out my office. I'm fining the people who bribe you.
Sometimes you need to go a step further because there's also things that they are called guidance documents. Now, I know in our administration, the Office of Management and Budget worked very hard to cut back on all guidance documents because they really don't have the force or effect of law. A guidance document is just a federal employee's interpretation of a piece of legislation, a rule.
Also true. Look, I'm now on the kick of I want to take Project 2025 tapes and look at how progressives could use them. Because I like this. I like this as an idea. I want to keep doing it. I do also want to say, though, I want more structure when we're doing these Project 2025 tapes. And I do videos. And I do want to do the marathon. I think that might be happening. I just got an email back, though, from the folks I've been waiting to hear from, RE making calls on stream. These two ideas might collide, but I think I am going to end it slightly early. Also, I'll note, it doesn't look like we're getting MAGA folks to come on. I got to figure out how the dude does it. You guys ever see My Dude, spelled DOODE? This motherfucker manages to get folks debating with him all the time. I can't get one. All right, I'm gonna end this thing by going into No Comment Chick's stream. She's a good egg. We like her. I like her. Anyway. Mars Falcon, you mean zero tolerance kidnappings after forced family separations, man? Yeah. Hence the garlic. Let me try this again. Anti-corporatist, which is ironic given that they believe in such things, Mike, and a law is only as good as the enforcement behind it. True. Hence, the Garland Justice Department isn't pursuing shit that these guys are doing. Yeah. Anti-corporatist, I'm telling you, vertical was someone political in the title, preferably denigrating Trump. Point taken. Advice interesting. Interesting advice. Fuck. Am I Joe Biden? Well, this is Donald James X.